Okay, let me know you all can see my screen. Do you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now let us continue about this presentation about what is Kubernetes and what all it can do, what are its strengths, and how can we benefit out of it. So yesterday we were speaking about the capabilities of Kubernetes, which we explored. And let us continue with the next slide here. See, Kubernetes is like, as we discussed, a framework as framework, or it is the stage on which all the applications are deployed and is scaled up and scaled down and upgraded and managed. All those things are happening from the application point of view. Kubernetes is the stage, is the ground on which all the applications are deployed, right? It's like the Linux operating system or the Windows operating system in the old world. But then Kubernetes is not just a plain operating system. It has got, like, load balancing capability and like high availability and self-healing. All those capabilities are built in with Kubernetes. Okay, but so there's lots of moving parts. Setup is not for the faint-hearted. Setup and operations of a Kubernetes itself is a little bit more complex task. Hey, I'll request people who are not, having any questions to mute your mic, please. Okay, thank you. So now, as you are seeing my screen here, from a developer's point of view, it is actually very, very simple. The way how developers develop the software and deploy to Kubernetes is, like, I would say, like less than 1/10 the complex of setting up of Kubernetes. Setting up this stage is like actually more complex. But from a developer's point of view, developing the code and deploying to the Kubernetes is easy. It is smooth. It is not even complicated. You only need to know few basic fundamental concepts of Kubernetes. But then, as a developer, from your point of view, your job is your code, is your algorithm, whether it compiles, whether it is syntactically correct, and it follows all the, it has got all the business requirements and all those business logic is, have you coded it? That is what you are going to look, which you are going to most probably develop using an IDE, and then you will put it into a Docker file and then create a Docker image and upload to a Docker registry, which will be downloaded by Kubernetes, and then it is going to deploy, right? So now, because what Kubernetes can do, there's a new terminology which has come up, the way how the deployment of Kubernetes happens. It is called GitOps. In the sense, see, all the operations of deploying to Kubernetes and upgrading to all the operations of applications deployment to Kubernetes and application configuration changes and application upgrade, everything is done using pushing your code into a Git repository, which will be version controlled. Like, let's assume you want to install version 1.0 today. So what you will do is, you will create the container and then upload the container to the registry, and then you will have the deployment YAML file, which will be kept in a Git repository. And then Kubernetes, there's a push and pull model. Kubernetes, we can configure Kubernetes to pull all the configuration and to deploy. So Kubernetes will monitor this Git repo every minute, and then if there's any change, then it will pull. Because you can also uh, configure any specific branch, like if there's any change to the master branch, then pull. That you can configure. So here, if you look at the top right image, whenever there's a code change into Git, it will build the container and put it to a container registry, and then this either can be pushed to a Git repo, or you can change any of the YAML configuration files to a master branch or a production environment. And then this deploy operator, which is sitting inside Kubernetes, it will always go and pull all the configuration, whether it is related to the Docker container image or it is about the deployment configuration. This is the new way of deploying to Kubernetes, which if you understand, it will help you because most of you are developers, right? So now, um, uh, so because we are using Git here in the bottom left diagram, so the developers are going to use an IDE, they're going to build their application and it will be added to the image repository. And then in Kubernetes, all the deployments and monitoring and operations are all details are stored in the Git. So they're also pulled. All the deployment details and this image, everything will be pulled by Kubernetes and deployed. So in the old world, we used to actually manually shut down the server or the service and then make the change and then boot up the server service or even the server. But here, as Kubernetes can be self-healing and it can do a rollout, rollover upgrade, even your deployment is going to be seamless to the users and it can be deployed to dev, QA, pre-prod or production, any environment you want, the way you want it. So the main point is there's a very easy way how developers can deploy to Kubernetes and it's called GitOps. We will study more about it as time progresses. Any questions here? Okay, now next is, because see, there was mainframe, there was Unix, then there is Linux and Windows, and then physical and virtual and cloud. So all these things, each one of them introduced new concepts or abstractions, which will make both the developers and the operations life very easy. So we have to understand some of the abstractions which Kubernetes provide. The most basic thing is a pod, which is the smallest unit of work of Kubernetes and are ephemeral. In the sense, no single pod or no application depends on a single pod, because if a pod fails, if somebody pulls the power cable out of the server on which this pod is running, then it has to live in any other server. But a pod is the Docker container plus some configuration. Pods generally contains only one Docker container. It can have two or three also, but most of the time it's only one. And all other configuration, like where is the storage and how many CPU and memory it should have, all those, a container should have all those things are configured in the pod. Okay, so that is the basic one. And pods contain one or more containers, most of the time only one, and they share the disk and the network and part of a single context from the point of view of a Linux operating system. And the next abstraction or the concept you need to know is called as services. A services is, see, now as we spoke, pods are ephemeral. They can come, they can go, they'll have an IP address, then it will die. Maybe there is 100 created and then 100 destroyed, come and go. IP address are not like static. So the idea of services exists in Kubernetes, where in which it is that bridge or the interface for your changing pods. Pods can come and go, but if a application want to speak to a deployment, we create something called services. So the any application will speak to the services, which will have a cluster IP or a fixed IP, unchanging for its lifetime IP address. And behind that service IP address, you will have pods where there will be 0 to thousands. So that is the concept of services, which we are going to see more. And concept of volume is there, which is used for storage. Like if you want to have 10 GB of disk, whether it is NFS disk or persistent disk, fast disk, slow disk, RAM disk, any of those things you can create, but it is called as volumes. And namespace is a way to isolate multiple projects running on the same Kubernetes cluster. Let us say you can have one large Kubernetes cluster. If you want, you can have a development namespace and a pre-prod namespace and a production namespace inside the same Kubernetes cluster, so that you're isolating all these applications. Or you can have team A, team B, team C, each of them you can say, okay, team A namespace should have only like say 10 CPU and say 20 GB of RAM. And then each team, they're going to have their own namespace isolated part of Kubernetes cluster. So that concept you need to understand. And deployment is how you deploy the whole of the application. And labels and label selectors are the concept where each of the Kubernetes objects preferably should have a label. Let us say this pod has got a label application A, then you can create a service where you're going to say for all uh, application A, do this. That label selector along with the label go together so that they're all linked together and work together. And as we discussed earlier, we have jobs and cron jobs. And I have few videos created at your leisurely time. You can watch some of these videos. Let me see if this takes a sample video. Okay. Yeah, this is just a sample video I have. You can come back and watch for this later. These are the two master nodes, and these are all the multiple compute nodes. And then you have the ops and the developers and the testers and the users here. And just a sample image which I have here. You can watch that at your later convenient time. Okay. And next is a quick point which you're going to see as soon as the next class. Kubectl. This kubectl, people pronounce the different way. Some people say kube control, kubectl, and kubectl. Many people say whatever they want, but kubectl is the command which is used to connect to Kubernetes cluster and speak to the API and do whatever changes you want to do, right? Like kubectl, get deployments, create deployments, expose deployment, get service. You can do all these commands. Or there is a simple, beautiful, intuitive IDE called uh, Kubernetes Lens. This right side screenshot. This is an IDE with which you can see all the pods running and all the deployments, configurations, and storage, everything you can see. So you can use either of these two things. And YAML is the way how you're going to speak to the Kubernetes API server. And the top right is a sample YAML, which will have a kind of deployment. So in any YAML, these four values are mandatory. The first and foremost is kind. Like, is it a deployment? Is it a service? Is it a pod? Is it a physical volume? All those things you have to define, and it's API version. And metadata is about like you can have labels, or like metadata is information about information. You can have like labels and all, and specification, like, okay, this is a deployment and it should have this container by name nginx, and this is the image, and it has to run on this port number, right? So the specifications you can have as much as possible. And this is a Kubernetes deployment of kind service with the metadata name of my service, and the spec is selector is app my app and port number and target port, all those things. So this is a sample YAML file which you are going to see more, but this is how it will look. Okay, so now it's a demo time. I would like to show how a GKE Kubernetes cluster can be built in 10 minutes or less. Okay, so now I have logged into GK environment. I'm going to create an ID for you and then set up a password for each one of you. But I want to show you how easy it is to set up your own Kubernetes cluster in Google Cloud Platform, uh, which is like only 10 cents per hour if it is multi like availability zone, and most probably the first one is even free, I think. Okay, so log into this Google Cloud Platform and select this project, which is KubeTrain. After that, we need to name this cluster. Shall we say Virtusa. Okay. Now I don't want, I just want it to be in one zone, and then I can choose which release channel. Like I can fix a static number, okay, whichever version I want, or I can even have a release channel so that when it changes, I can easily come and upgrade here. Okay. So now I'll choose the latest Kubernetes cluster which they have. And now if I want, I can also create some default pools, and I have more details here. But then as this is just a demo cluster, I'm going to click here, and then this will be ready in less than 5 minutes. Sometimes in a minute, it might take a couple of minutes at maximum. So my own Kubernetes cluster is getting ready, right? It has got 3 nodes, and it is being created as you're all seeing it, right? And by default, it is 3 node, and we can increase as much as we want. And if you go to the node pool, it shows more details here. This is about the compute nodes it is going to create. Okay, so it will take few minutes for this to be over. Okay, now can each one of you type your first name and last name in this chat so that I can give you the access for this Kubernetes cluster, or whatever
Jay,
the
good
name you
morning.
want.
What is the
Hey,
type in chat?
sorry.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
What should I type in the chat?
Your first name and last name, are even a shortened first name and last name, so that I'll create that ID for you and give you access for this Kubernetes cluster.
Sure. Yeah.
So that you should be able to log in and test out your access. Okay, am I seeing the names? Yes, I got some names. So now, as this is happening, cluster is being created. What I want to show next is I want to create those. Okay, I'm just going by this order. Whoever has put their names here. Whoever has typed this Pericala Gmail, it is better you change it to some, like, 2 parts of your name. As you see the screen here, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, primary email. I'll put it as Narayana. Okay, just a small part of the name. Narayana at kubetrain.com. Add new user. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me copy this password and paste it here. Or you know what, let me edit the password and make it simpler. what would be better? Okay, I'll just copy password and paste it here. So Narayana.
Yes, Jay.
Okay, so what you need to do now is you need to go to this URL preferably. Okay, let me see if you can go to this URL.
Yeah.
And log in with that username and password.
Okay.
Okay. Now, who is second? You know what? I'm just, going to add just Ramesh Kumar P. I think, yeah, Ramesh Kumar should be okay. Add new user. And this is password. And you see my screen, right? So this is what you should log in as. Okay. Copy password. And I'm going to, and then you know that you need to change your password immediately after you log in. Okay.
Yeah, you pinged me that one password.
The username and password I type next to each other. Okay. Now next is J Jadhav J. Okay. First, can one of you, whoever I pinged the name here, can let me know that you are able to see the cluster? Oh no, it might not be possible. Wait. Okay. Because I have not given you access in the IAM. Okay. So then let us do one by one. So who is the first person I've given? Narayana, right? So now I should give access to Narayana. So I should go to the IAM. Narayana,
Yes, Jay.
could you log in?
I didn't get a password still, Jay.
Is it? I got that MAUZQ less than 6Q, right?
Yeah, maybe I don't remember.
Sorry?
I don't remember, Jay.
It is in this chat window.
No. No, Jay, I
Okay.
didn't get.
Okay. I'm typing it again. Paste. Okay. You know what? Can you share me your screen now? I'll give you access to share.
No, Jay, I logged in mobile because I don't have what you call mic in my desktop.
Okay. Yeah. Who is the next volunteer? Ramesh Kumar. Ramesh, can you volunteer to share me your screen?
Jay, still I'm not getting password.
That's okay.
Was
Ramesh.
disabled. I got disabled. Disabled screen. Participant screen.
Sorry.
Unable to share. It is disabled.
Okay. Who is this?
Ramesh.
Okay, Ramesh. I'll allow you to share now. Go ahead. Share me your screen, please. Okay. Can you open a browser and log into that?
Ping me that one. I not received anything.
Okay. Do you have the details which is shared in this chat window?
I don't. I not received.
Okay. I will share it again. Okay. Step 1 is, this is the URL. You have to log in.
Stuck here.
Sorry?
Net. Some network.
Okay. Is there any other volunteer who was in third? Jay?
Yeah, I'm able to log in.
Okay. Can you share us your screen?
It is saying disabled.
Okay. Yeah, because I think Ramesh has to stop his screen sharing.
Yes. Stop. I stopped that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sharing now. It's taking some time.
Who is the next volunteer who is willing to share the screen and follow this
Can you see my
exercise?
screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the screen.
Okay. You have to click select a project in the top left.
Select a project.
In Google Cloud project platform, you see, right? After that, there's a select a project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, you should be able to see all. Click on that all. Okay. You might not have access. Let me check. You should be having access to this project. What was your ID?
J at Kuberentes.
Okay. Okay, I have not added you yet. Let me add it here. Okay, can you refresh the screen?
From here only, or should I
You can
go
go
back?
back and realize. In the top, select organization is there, no? Select from,
Yeah.
or you can even like close this if you want. Like, yeah, Kuberentes. And everybody else, please watch this because this is how exactly you're supposed to do. Click on Kuberentes, please. Okay. And in the top right, okay, can you refresh the whole, click on the clusters in the left side. Yeah. You are Kuberentes is not viable. Okay, give me a minute. Let me check. Okay, I have not given you access yet. Give me one more minute.
Okay.
Jay,
Yeah.
where you that message, password and
Okay, give me 2 minutes. Let me finish with him and I'll come to you. Hey, sorry, I'm back. Can you refresh the screen again? Maybe just refresh from the top, this thing.
From there,
No, from the browser only.
browser.
Yeah. No, wait. I think you have to select that project correctly. The project name has to come in the top. Can you expand that cube train? Select this project again. Let us see. I'll click on all. Yeah, select this the below one, cube train 3. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Okay, you see this.
I can see this.
Super. Now, next, what you need to do is click on this Virtuosa dash cluster, and I want everybody else to just follow this so that you are going to do this now. Okay, click on that Virtuosa cluster name. Below the name, the Virtuosa cluster is there. No, click.
Yeah.
Okay, it will open up, and then you should log into a shell. Okay, in the top you see connect, top right. Okay, click on that run in cloud shell. And can you click on that hide button in the bottom? Yeah. Say continue. And you may have to press enter if it is auto selected command comes in.
Okay. Yeah, there is prompt now.
Enter. Authorize. You may have to log back in again. Okay.
Yeah.
Now type
Yeah.
kubectl get nodes. KUBECTL space get
Space.
get GET space NOD GET space NODES. Enter. Okay, so you have 3 nodes ready. Also type similarly kubectl get pods.
Yes,
Should
correct.
be only
Pods,
one
PODs.
Enter. Yeah.
It should be only one pod, right, Jay?
No. Can you type kubectl get pods space hyphen dash A space hyphen dash
Just now.
uppercase A. Kubectl get pods space dash A uppercase
So
A
get
pods
pods.
dash uppercase A. Enter. You'll see multiple parts, whatever parts which are running in the operating system. Okay. Now the last
Yeah.
command I want you to try for now is kubectl create namespace and your name. No, wait. Even before that, no, wait. Type kubectl get namespace. Enter. These are the namespaces which is currently there, default created.
Available.
Can you type kubectl create namespace and your name, first name. Kubectl create namespace and whatever your first name you want to choose. Enter. Okay. Now again, press up arrow key twice or type kubectl get namespace. You see your
Yes, it's there.
namespace? Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. So this is the exercise each one of you are going to do today. Okay, pure hands-on. Everybody need to get thing, because this is the starting point for you have Kubernetes cluster access. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Should I stop sharing now?
Yes, you can. Please. Thank you. Okay, so now one by one, I am going to create the usernames and give you access. Okay, in this order. So now I gave it to Narayana, and I'm going to ask like if you really need it or not, because if you say no, I can't log in, then it's waste for now and I don't waste much time. Now, Vishnavi Koturi, do you have access to connect to Google Cloud in a browser now?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. Then I'm going to add you. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so Vishnavi, I've created your username and this is your password. Okay, let me know you can log in. Okay.
One
Now,
second, I didn't receive the credentials in the chat.
okay. Oh yeah, because this went to a specific user. Let me send it to all. Yeah,
Maybe
sent. Okay,
Okay, I'll log in.
super. Now, who's the next volunteer in the list? Wait, let me ask. After Vaishnavi here, I saw Suren Dorai. Okay, I'm going to create this thing now.
Jay, can you ping that URL to which we have to log in to everyone? I mean, that URL.
Is it not there already?
No, maybe
No.
you shared on personal mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
Jay, not
password
shared my
not
password,
replied
Ramesh.
person. Jay, can you please my password also? Narayana.
Wait, I'm doing one by one. Okay, Suren. Okay, yeah, no problem. I've sent Suren's detail. Who is next in the list here? I think
I'm
Vinod.
Ramesh also.
Wait, Vinod Siripuram. Are you ready to get your password?
Yes, Jay.
Okay. Okay, so Vinod, I pasted your password here. Who's
Okay, Jay.
next? Satish Somarati. Are you good? Do you have
Yes.
access to it now? Okay. Step one is just log in because I've not given you access yet. That will be step two. I'm going to do it later. Okay, Satish, I've added. Who is next in this list? Narayana Swami, Yenukanti.
Jay already created that one. Can
Is
you
it?
share my password? Yeah.
You've not shared your password, is it?
Yes, I didn't get. You
Oh.
created Narayana@cubeplane.com.
Yeah, Jay, Ramesh, please share my password also.
Narayana, this is your password. Let me know if it works.
Yeah, thank you.
And Ramesh, what happened to your password?
Not received, Jay.
Okay, but I'm coming in an order, right?
Okay.
So, Narayana, what is the password? Hey, Narayana, I've given you password here, right? Should I give you again? Okay, I've typed you again. This is the third time I'm typing. Oh, there are two.
But I got.
Try either of those passwords. It's going to work. Okay.
Okay.
Now, after Narayana in this list, I have Nikhil. Nikhil, you want your username now?
Yeah, yes. Jay.
Okay. And each one of you are changing your password just after logging in, right?
Yeah, Jay.
Super. Yeah. And you may not be able to see it yet, but just logging in is step one. I will allow each one of you to log in, and then in one go, I'll give access to all of you. Okay, Durga, I've given you the username and password.
Yeah, thank you, Jay.
Log in and confirm for me. And then Jyoti Goli. Jyoti, you are ready to receive username and password?
Yeah, yes, Jay.
Super, thank you.
Jay, can you please repeat the logging? I am into the consolecloud.google.com now, but can you repeat the way to log in? Please.
Wait for 5 minutes. Let me finish off this task.
Okay.
Okay. Jyoti is done. Now Shiva Ranjani Balakrishnan.
Yes, Jay.
Okay. Thank you. I pinged the username and the password to you. And the next user is Jagadish Somisetti. Ready? Jagadish?
Yes, yes, I am ready.
Ready? Okay. Okay, this is your username and this is your password. And the next one is Kushal Someshwar.
Yes, Jay.
Okay. Now this is your username and this is your password.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And last is Mulayam Yadav. Are you ready?
Yes, Jay.
Super. Okay, this is your username. And this is your password. Okay, so Deepraj Das. I think he wants to add. Okay, I'm adding Deepraj Das. Okay, so I've given access to Deepraj also. Is there anybody else whom I have not?
Thanks, Jay.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, for adding me.
Jay, Ramesh. Ramesh Makesh.
Ramesh, is it?
Yes.
Jay, to log in into the console.googlecloud.com, it is, shall I provide as a user ID password there in that login itself?
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? Let us go step by step here. Let me
Yes,
see
please.
if I can add all of you to this group here. Identity and access management. Vinod.
Can you please share your screen, Jay?
Sure. Yeah, do you see my screen? So I'm giving
Yes,
access
please.
to each one of you one by one. So the names are, I think, Vinod I created, then Satish. Do we have Satish at CubeTrain?
It's SATHISH.
Okay, thank you. TITHISH. Okay. I have Satish. And then in my list, I have Narayana. And I have Nikhil.
Jay, sorry,
Yeah.
I got a connectivity issue.
No problem, no problem. Durga is next. Jyoti. Sivaranjan. Then Jagadish, Kushal, Mulayam. Okay. Then Deepraj. Anybody else am I missing here?
Yeah, you're missing my name.
That is
Vaishnavi Kothuri.
because I have not
DI.
created. Sorry?
DI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good we have here. Okay. So I am adding, oh my God, I lost those names again because I think I need to have access here also. Groups also maybe I have to add. I should have copy pasted. Okay. That's it. Okay, so now who had this problem? Can you share me your screen or whatever?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, what's your name?
Durga Prasad. Yeah,
Okay,
Durga.
I should stop sharing. Go ahead, Durga.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so console.cloud.google.com. Okay.
No, it's better you go to the specific. Yeah, you can go from here also, but don't you have that specific URL I gave you earlier?
No. What is the URL?
It's in the chat window.
It should be in the chat. You can.
Okay, you don't have the chat window?
Okay, okay, I have it. Yeah, right now I have it.
Thank you.
I just repinged you.
Sure. Does it ask for the phone number normally? It is
No, it should
asking.
not. It should not. Try another way. You need not give your phone number because I'm not sure. Yeah, try another way. Get a verification code sent to your phone. Okay, but here you have to give your phone number again. It's okay if that is what is needed.
Six 65178.
Jay.
Okay, you are able to see my screen, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now I think I agree. Continue. Okay, I am seeing the cluster here.
Super. And then click on that connect, and then whatever the other people did, you should be able to do it. Run those 4 commands. kubectl get parts, kubectl get nodes, kubectl get namespace, and then kubectl create namespace and your name. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you want, you can stop sharing screen. Now, my request to everybody else is please go and you can log in. And if you have any problem, let me know.
Jay, can you hear me?
Yes. Now.
I got issue with the permissions. Yeah, permission.
Okay, let us go one by one. Then Ramesh, can you please share me your screen? Yeah, so each one of you, please go ahead and log in. Anybody has got any issue? See now, Ramesh, you have to select that project, right? Select a project.
Okay.
And then click on all. Okay, you don't see the organization yet. Your name was Ramesh, is it?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Let
Yes.
me see why it is not there. Ramesh at CubeTrain, right? Not Ramesh
Yes,
Kumar.
Ramesh. Ramesh, actually, first time we created with Ramesh Kumar, next time we gave Ramesh.
Okay, but what did you log in as?
Ramesh, whatever we give.
Can you be specific?
Not required specific. Ramesh enough.
Ramesh, is it? So I'm going to delete this Ramesh Kumar ID.
Hmm.
Unnecessary confusion. Okay, only log in as Ramesh.
Okay.
Can you log off and log in again for me with the name Ramesh?
Thanks.
For some reason, Jay, it is still saying establishing connection to your Google Cloud Shell.
Okay. Sometimes it will take time.
Okay.
Not coming.
No, you have to select an all first. Okay,
select.
try to log off and log back in.
You didn't log out actually.
Where I can get?
Below active.
Below
The symbol is there, na? Yeah, here log out.
What is this? Perikal@gmail.com you're logging in. That's not you're supposed to log in.
You have to give password phone number.
Looks like it is, yeah.
Jay, can we exit from that shell once we execute all those 4 commands?
Correct. Yes, please. Okay. Hey, the time is like 9 o'clock now. Right? So, yeah, so I don't want to, keep you any longer. Whoever has done this, you can log off from this Zoom session. Let me also,